My dear child, stop for a moment. Before you scroll, before you distract yourself again, hear me. You've been searching for a sign, for a voice to pierce the silence you've been drowning in. This is it. I brought you here, not by accident, but by divine design. I see the wounds you hide, the fears you pretend don't exist, the dreams you're too tired to chase. You've been surviving, but I created you to live, fully, freely, fearlessly. There is something I must tell you, and if you'll stay with me until the very end, I will show you how the pain you've carried is about to give birth to a purpose you never imagined. But you have to listen now, because this moment will not come again. I'm speaking life into your ashes. Stay. Let me remind you who you really are. It is in those very moments that it creeps into the hidden corners of your soul, planting seeds of doubt, fear, and helplessness. You may not realize that just a flicker of hesitation within your heart, just one glance away from the light, gives the enemy its opening. No storm is needed. Only the smallest crack in your faith allows the darkness to spread. That is why I can no longer remain silent. You are facing a great danger, not from the outside, but from the silent erosion of your mind and spirit. I need you to understand this, not to frighten you, but to bring you back. I am your Father, the one who formed every cell in your body with wonder, who wove your life with sacred threads of love and hope. You are not a random speck in the vastness of the universe. You are a vital part of a deep, unique, and irreplaceable design. I have been present since your earliest days. When you laughed in your mother's arms, I rejoiced with you. When you stumbled for the first time, I did not merely observe. I felt your pain as if it were my own. In those moments when you lost your way, when you wandered in darkness, I never took my eyes off you. I was only waiting for you to look up, waiting for one whisper, and I would run to you. Do you not see? Every time your heart wrestles with unspoken confusion, every moment you feel tangled inside without knowing why, that is when I am whispering to you. When you are moved to tears by a breathtaking sunset, that is me embracing you through the beauty of creation. When you awaken in the night with tears falling beyond control, that is when I am wiping them away with my very mercy. I do not wait for you to become perfect before you come to me. On the contrary, it is precisely in your weakness, precisely when you feel you have nothing left, that you are closest to me. I do not blame you for your wrong turns, nor do I cast you aside for your failing. I see what you cannot yet see in yourself. A resilient soul, a child carrying a great flame, born to bring light into darkness. Oh, my child, do not let fear hold you back any longer. Do not listen to those voices in your mind telling you that you're not good enough, that you've gone too far, that you can never return. Because I love you, I must tell you the truth. The enemy is seizing every moment of your weariness to pull you away from me forever. But it is also in this very moment, as you read these words, that you are given the chance to turn around, to choose the light instead of the shadows. You do not need to do this alone. I am here. I have always been here. If only you could grasp how precious you are in my eyes, you would never again doubt your worth. Not because you are strong by the world's standards, but because you belong to me. And that truth alone is enough to carry you through every trial. You once thought I was silent, but in truth, I have been speaking constantly through everything around you, through the rustle of the wind in the leaves, through the quiet patience of a friend who stayed even when you fell silent, through the gentle gaze of a mother who asked nothing but waited in love. All these were my ways of touching you so you might know you were never abandoned, never forgotten. Now I call you not by force, but with a love that burns deep and eternal. You can choose again. You can rise. You can return. And if you do it today, something miraculous will begin. I will walk with you step by step, through every door you feared to open, through every wound you dared not touch. I will heal, I will restore, I will make you stronger than ever before. Not because you are worthy, but because I am full of power and mercy. Do not delay, my beloved. You've heard enough noise from the world. Now is the time to listen to the voice from above, the voice of your Father who loves you with an unshakable love. I am still standing here, waiting for you with arms that never close. And when you return, all of heaven will erupt in joy. Where a child has found their way back, has discovered a value no one can steal, has understood this: you have always been loved, always been chosen, and there is always a place for you in my heart, one that nothing and no one can ever replace. Come to me, my child. Let me rewrite your story with light, with hope, with a new beginning. I am waiting, and I have never stopped loving you, my beloved child. Never believe that you are just a coincidence in this vast world. Not one breath, not one heartbeat of yours is wasted or overlooked in my eyes. Before you ever let out your first cry, I knew you. I called your name in my heart and placed within you a deep purpose from the Creator Himself. Every moment you have lived, whether in the brightness of joy or the solitude of tearful nights, has never been outside the reach of my love. I see you, truly see you, not just your outer form, but the depths of your soul that no one else sees, that no one else can fully understand. I know how many times you have trembled in fear. There are anxieties you cannot name that slowly eat away at your sense of self, leaving you lost. I know how careless, even cruel words from others have shattered your heart. Each time you tried to act strong, to hide your wounds, I was there, never looking away, never growing weary. You are not alone. Even when you feel abandoned, forgotten, I have remained closer than you know, so close that if you only whisper my name, I will hear it immediately. I do not merely watch you suffer. I have walked with you through every hard season. In those moments when you believed you couldn't go on, I was lifting you with an invisible strength, through a word of encouragement from someone unexpected, through a door that opened just in time, through a gentle flicker of light in your darkest days. Do you remember those moments when despair almost consumed you, but something held you back? That was not chance. That was me. I have waited, not because I am distant, but because I love you enough to honor your freedom. I do not force love. I patiently wait for your return. Wait until your heart grows weary of running, until it longs to return to the place it belongs. Now I invite you to pause, not for condemnation, but so you might truly hear. Because amidst all the noise, I have been whispering your name with an unconditional love. You have allowed the world to define who you are for too long. It has stolen your innocence, crushed your faith, silenced your courage, and made you doubt your worth. But let me remind you of what you've forgotten. You are a masterpiece in my hands. You are the child of a king, not a wanderer, not a nameless soul. In my eyes, you are still whole, not because you've never fallen, but because I never see you through the lens of failure. I see your true identity, strong, noble, courageous, and full of light. That flame inside you was never fully extinguished. It's simply waiting for the breath of love to fan it back into life. And I am that breath. Let me resurrect within you what seemed lost. Faith in yourself, the dreams that once burned with passion, the innocence of your heart, the compassion that once stirred at even the smallest sorrow. The world tried to distort your image, but I will restore it completely. Not only the part others see, but also the deepest part of your soul. You don't have to do anything to deserve this love. You only need to open your heart to accept the truth that you are always loved. Not because you do everything right, but because I am love. If today your heart is stirred, if these words awaken something deep within you, then it is my call. Don't delay. Don't let another day pass in confusion. My arms are open, waiting for you to return. It is not too late. No mistake is greater than my mercy. You belong to me forever, and nothing can change that. No harsh word, no past failure, no depth of despair can stop me from loving you. So come home, my beloved. Let me remind you of who you are, not as the world has named you, but as I have called you from the beginning. Beloved, chosen, purposed. This is not the end. This is the beginning, a new journey where I take your hand and we walk together step by step in light, in hope, in true life. I am here, and I have never stopped waiting for you. My dear one, there are moments in life when you feel weary without knowing why. You feel empty amid what appears to be abundance, and you don't understand why you still feel lost while surrounded by so many people. This is not your fault. It is because you are dwelling in a place I never intended for you to stay forever. You are in a foreign land, a place I allowed you to pass through to learn and grow, but not to settle, not to build your life there. You've lingered too long in that place where shame quietly gnaws away at your courage, where you've compromised little by little with voices that do not come from me, where spiritual exhaustion has dulled your longing for the greatness I planted within you. You have believed things that are not true. You've let the voices of the world, of the past, and even of your own fears replace my voice. They told you you're not good enough, that your dreams are foolish, that you should stop, be silent, accept a small and ordinary life. But none of that is from me. I am the one who created you. Not from an old mold, but from a design that is distinct, one of a kind and unrepeatable. Every line of your being, every tone in your voice, every movement of your soul is the handiwork of a master artisan. I do not make mistakes, and I never create anything meaningless. You are not too much, and you are not enough. You are just right in my love. Those seemingly too big passions, those dreams that feel distant, those desires to live a life full of purpose, they are not to be silenced, but to be nurtured because I placed them within you. I know you've been hurt trying to live true to your uniqueness. I've seen you shrink back, afraid of judgment, afraid of rejection. But my child, no one understands you more than I do. I did not create you to please the world. I made you to reflect my glory in a way only you can. The world needs what you carry in your heart. Even if you don't see it yet, even if what's inside you still feels rough and unfinished, it is precious. I have given you gifts no one else has. A unique perspective, a heart that feels deeply, a spirit that refuses to be caged by convention. You don't need to be like anyone else. You only need to have the courage to live true to the beauty I've placed in you. Now I call you out of that temporary land, out of the valley of shame where you keep looking back at your old mistakes and forget that I have long forgiven you. Out of the compromises where you live beneath your calling for fear of loneliness or being misunderstood. Out of spiritual fatigue where you've stopped praying, stopped seeking, because you thought I no longer heard you. But that's not true, my beloved. I still hear, I still wait. And now is the time I want to lead you up the mountain, where the air is fresh, where light is unobstructed, where you can breathe again, fully yourself. I won't promise there will be no trials, but I promise you will never walk alone. My hand is strong enough to lift you through every valley, and my heart is big enough to hold every fragile part of you without judgment, without rejection. You are a warrior of light, not because you never fear, but because you dare to keep walking even when your heart trembles. You are the called one, not because of achievements, but because you carry a part of heaven's plan within you. Do you know how much joy I feel when I see the light returning to your eyes? When you stop hanging your head in shame and dare to lift your gaze to seek mine. When you begin to believe again, not just in me, but in what I have placed within you. That is when you are truly alive. That is when you begin to step out of the shadows and into the life I have prepared for you. You are not losing everything. You are letting go of what no longer fits to step into something greater, more beautiful, more true. Remember this, my child. Everything in you has a purpose. Every dream, every wound, every longing will be woven by my hand into something good. Don't stay in the land that was never meant to be yours. It's time to rise. It's time to shed the burdens. It's time to let me lead you to the place your soul has always longed for. A place where you can be fully yourself, where you are loved without striving, where you live each day with the deep knowing you were created for a magnificent purpose. I am calling you. Do you hear me? Are you ready, my beloved? Have you ever paused even for just a moment to consider that your presence on this earth is no accident? Do you know that every breath you take, every step you walk, every fragment of memory, every crack and every unfinished dream is part of a sacred tapestry, a plan that began before time ever started counting its first days? You were not made just to exist, but to shine, not with a blinding light that demands attention, but with a quiet, steady radiance soaked in love. The kind of light that can warm a cold heart, illuminate a lost path, awaken a soul that thought its fire was long gone. This light was given to you not to be hidden, not to be hoarded. It was lit in you to be shared, to reach the places where darkness thought it had won. You might think your life is too ordinary, that what you do doesn't matter. But let me remind you of this. It is in the seemingly small things that the miracle is unfolding. A gentle word, a compassionate gaze, a quiet act of kindness. These may appear trivial in the eyes of the world, but in my sight, they are the beams of light weaving broken souls back together. And you are the one who brings that light. You cannot measure the power of goodness when it is born from true love. There are people you may never meet, yet their lives will be touched simply by your presence in this world. Someone who has lost their faith might find hope again because of something you do today. A soul teetering on the edge of darkness may turn back to the light because of a word you write, a song you sing, or the way of life you choose. You are a vital link in a journey far greater than yourself, and no act done in love is ever wasted. I do not need you to stand out from the crowd. I only need your sincerity. I do not require you to accomplish greatness by human standards. I simply invite you to live fully in the light I have placed within you. Remember, to shine does not always mean to dazzle. It means to endure, to be faithful, to keep the flame alive even when the winds grow fierce. You were created for a purpose, not merely to survive the days, but to make an impact on lives. You may not see the full picture now, but trust me, your life is painting strokes that are essential to the eternal story I am writing. And the miracle is this: as you bring light to others, you will find yourself being healed. The dark places in your soul will begin to warm. The deep questions in your heart will gradually find their answers. Because you are not just living, you are living in the purpose for which you were created. You are an irreplaceable part of that divine plan, a plan far beyond human comprehension, yet closer to your heart than anything else. And if today you are still wondering, still doubting your worth, hear my voice once more. You were created to carry light. That light is real, and the world needs you to ignite it. Do not wait any longer. Do not wait until you feel good enough or strong enough. All you need is to begin right where you are. I will write the next part of the story with you, a story that will not only transform you, but also those you have never met, in places you never imagined. Because I know you and I believe in you, my beloved child. There is a deep truth you must come to know, not to cause fear, but to prepare you, to awaken you, and to make you stronger than ever. A silent war is being waged over your soul. This battle is not loud, not flashy, but it weaves its way into the smallest moments of your daily life. What makes it dangerous is its subtlety. It does not arrive with a fierce appearance that you can easily recognize and resist. Instead, it hides behind disguises, seemingly harmless, appearing as just a little thing, but powerful enough to erode faith and steal your divine purpose. The enemy does not roar as you imagine. He does not need to shout to instill fear. Instead, he whispers using the very voice that feels familiar in your mind. He whispers lies such as, "You're failing. No one cares about you. You've gone too far to be forgiven. God is no longer near." These words don't come as noise, but with familiarity, sounding like a natural thought, a normal feeling. And because of that, they slip past your defenses and plant seeds of doubt, discouragement, and isolation. And so, day by day, you begin to live according to what you think is truth. You start feeling worthless. You believe you're just trying to survive with no higher purpose. You grow weary of trusting, weary of fighting, weary of yourself, and you begin to give up, not with one big decision, but with a series of small compromises. Choices you know aren't right, but are easier. Choices you know draw you away from me, but you feel too tired to resist. You begin to spend time on things that do not nourish your spirit. You withdraw from the community of faith. You stay silent while your heart is in turmoil. You stop praying, not because you don't believe I exist, but because you're not sure I'm still listening. But my child, I see it all. I see every quiet agreement you've made with sweet-sounding lies. I see every step you've taken off the path I marked for you. I see your heart growing weary of hope. And because I see, I cannot stay silent. I am here. I am still here. And I have never left you, not even for a second. This battle is not meant to frighten you, but to awaken you. Because you are not a victim. You are chosen. You are not simply someone surviving in a dark world. You are the one who carries light. Light that can shatter deception, spiritual numbness, shame, and every chain that binds you and those around you. The enemy attacks you not because you are weak, but because you carry something that terrifies him. A mission, a gift, a role, and a divine plan so grand it shakes the foundations of darkness. You are not insignificant. Every moment you are alive, you carry influence. And that is why he works relentlessly to make you forget, through busyness, through relationships that draw you away from me, through habits that numb your faith, and through the quiet retreat when you think you're too exhausted to go on. I do not condemn you. I am not disappointed in you. I know this battle is hard, but I also know within you is the strength to rise, because you are not fighting alone. I am the one who goes before you, who covers your back, who has placed the sword of the Spirit in your hand and called you by your true name, Overcomer. Stay awake, my beloved. Do not compromise anymore. Do not believe the false voices screaming within you. Find again my voice, gentle yet full of authority. Open your heart, your eyes, your ears, and you will see, you will hear, you will feel that I am still fighting for you, even when you have no strength to fight for yourself. Pause today, right now, to remember that you are still loved, still called, and still empowered by the strength from on high. This battle is real, but you are not fighting for victory. You are fighting from victory already given. And I, the Almighty One, your loving Father, will not let you fail. If you take just one small step toward me, I will run to you, not with scolding, but with robes, with arms, with joyful tears and a new invitation. Rise, go on. Remember who you are in me. You belong to me. And this battle, fierce as it may be, will not define you. I am the one who defines your future, and that future is full of hope. My beloved child, have you ever felt that I was far away? Looked up at the sky and whispered, "Father, where are you?" Felt your soul like an empty room, so silent it seemed your prayers only echoed into the void and vanished? I know that feeling. I hear every word you cry through your tears, even the ones you don't dare to say. The ones held deep within with just a sigh, a distant gaze, a still and sleepless moment in the middle of the night. But my child, I have never been far from you. There has never been a distance between you and me, except the one you believe exists. I do not dwell in a distant realm accessible only to the flawless. I do not stand behind a door that opens only when you are good enough. No, I am closer than the breath in your chest. I am present in every beat of your heart, even when that heart is cracked and weary. I am there, not only in the beautiful moments when you laughed, rejoiced, or triumphed, but also in the tear-soaked nights, the times you collapsed, the hours when you felt there was nothing left in life worth holding on to. When you could no longer stand, I knelt beside you. When you stumbled and no one stayed, I remained, silently wrapping you in my arms, not with judgment or blame, but with a love so quiet and steadfast it defies understanding. I wept with you. Did you know that not a single tear you shed fell to the ground unnoticed? I counted them all, holding them in my heart, the way a father cherishes every breath of his beloved child. When you whispered fragile prayers, unsure whether you even believed, I still listened. It is not flawless or powerful prayers that reach me. Even your groans, even the silent cries within your soul, I heard them all. I never needed your faith to sound poetic. I looked at your heart, and your heart, weary as it was still seeking me. I was there, even when you searched for love in places that could never fulfill you. When you allowed temporary things to define your worth, when you wandered into arms that only deepened your emptiness, I did not turn away. I did not slam the door. I did not say, you made this mess, now live with it. No, I stayed. And my child, I stayed. Not because you were perfect, not because you always got it right, not because you met some worthy standard. I stayed because you are mine. My love for you does not shift with the ups and downs of your behavior or emotions. It is not swayed by your failures or your victories. I do not love you because you never disappointed me, but because you have always belonged to me, and nothing can erase that mark. Let me hold you today just as I always have, though you may not have realized it. Let go of the burdens, the shame, the unanswered questions. Simply be still and know that I am here, not far away, not separate, not waiting for you to measure up to be loved again. You have always been loved. Even before you called me Father, I had already called you my child. Let that truth comfort your soul like a cool breeze on a stifling day, that I have never left you, I have never stopped loving you, and I never will, my beloved. There are moments when you believe you've strayed too far, so far that you can never turn back, so far that you feel unworthy to be called mine. But my child, that is never the truth. There is no road I will not travel to find you, no depth too great for my hand to reach and pull you up. Even if you hide in silence, even if your life is layered with mistakes, my love continues to knock at the door of your heart. Not to judge, but to welcome. All you have to do is turn around. All you need is to open your heart once more, and I will embrace you as though no distance had ever come between us. I do not keep a record of your failures to accuse you. I do not hold a list of your wrongs to remind you when you return. No, I have thrown them into the deepest place where no one can find them again. What I do remember is every moment you were in pain, every moment of despair, every longing to live in truth. And in those moments, I was right beside you. I have always been your shelter, whether you knew it or not. My love is not human love, with conditions and limits. My love is eternal, unchanging, unshakable by anything, not even the things you think disqualify you. And so today, I want you to believe this. You can begin again, not through your own striving, but through the grace I give. No one is too broken to be restored. No one is too far to return home. You do not need to fix everything before stepping into my embrace. It is in the confusion, in the brokenness, in the wandering, that I will welcome you and begin something new in your life. I will lay a new foundation, rebuild what has crumbled, and give you a new heart, full of hope, full of life, full of light. You are not defined by your past, but by my everlasting love for you. And it is that love that will lead you into a new chapter where you live truthfully, are deeply healed, and walk as the person I created you to be. My precious one, listen to me right now. This is no longer the time to hesitate, no longer the moment to ask if you are worthy. I am placing before you a sacred turning point, not marked by thunder or signs, but by a quiet yet powerful call from deep within your soul. This is the hour of awakening, of choosing, of returning. I am not inviting you into a checklist of right and wrong. I am calling you back to your truest self, the one I formed with my own hands. This journey is not about what you do, but about who you become. A return to the center, to the pure essence I wove into you from the beginning. I have sung a unique song over your soul, a melody unlike any other, a sound that is completely your own. That song began even before you opened your eyes to this world, before the world placed labels, pressures, and expectations upon you. But over time, that song began to fade. It was drowned out by the noise of worry, of failure, of fear, and the long silence that made you wonder if I had forgotten. But no, my child, that melody still lives. And now I want you to listen again, to remember, not because of fear, but because you need to recall the original memory, the memory of first love, of original purpose, of what once made your heart leap when you heard me call your name. Remember who you are, not by how others see you, not by what you've gone through, but by how I see you, a masterpiece, a messenger, an anointed one sent to bring hope into the dark. Remember the words I once spoke to you, those quiet moments when you sat alone and felt something deep, something unnameable. That was me. The noble dreams that once lived in you, they were not random, not foolish. They came from me. I planted them in your spirit long before the world taught you to be realistic, to fit in, to live for approval. But you were never made to blend in. You were created to live boldly, authentically, with a flame no one can extinguish, because it does not come from you, but from me. You were not born to spin endlessly through life, eating, sleeping, working, growing tired, and repeating. You were not made merely to survive. You were sent to change the atmosphere, not through power or fame, but through things that seem small yet carry great force. By the way you live, honestly, bravely, without hidden motive. By the way you create, writing, singing, building, healing, bringing beauty into a jagged world. And by the way you persevere, not giving up when others walk away, not snuffing out the fire when mocked, not stopping your belief in goodness, even when everything around you whispers otherwise. So today I do not stand as a distant figure issuing commands. I am a father always by your side, still reaching out my hand and saying, "Come home," not because of guilt, but because of love. Not out of fear, but from a longing to live in truth. You've spent long enough trying to fit into someone else's mold. Now is the time to live as your true self, the one I created with your own light, your own voice, your own path. And when you live in that truth, the world will be changed, not by your strength, but by my presence alive in you, my beloved child. Do not fear what you have become. Do not shy away from the reflection in the mirror just because it reminds you of the times you strayed, of choices that brought you pain, of the years you went against the quiet voice within. I know you've chosen wrongly before. I see even what you've never said to anyone, the disappointment in yourself, the longing to turn back time. But my child, I do not see you through the lens of failure. I do not call you by your mistakes. You are not your sin. You are not your past. You are not the judgment the world has placed upon your shoulders. I see you, not just what has been broken, but what still remains whole within. A soul still capable of rising, a light still capable of being rekindled, a song still capable of singing from the ashes. There is nothing within you that I cannot restore, nothing lost that I cannot make part of something new. But there is one thing I will not do in your place. Reach out. I do not force love. I do not cross the threshold you won't open. I can open every door, but you must be the one to walk through. I can pour out light, but you must be willing to turn your face toward it. And because I love you, I do not wait until you feel ready to speak. I call you now, not tomorrow, for tomorrow is not promised. Not when you're better, for no one is healed by delay. It is today, this very moment, as you are reading these words, as your heart begins to stir, even if only with a small flutter, to recognize this is your calling. I am here, not to say, why are you like this, but to say, we can begin again, right now. I do not demand perfection. I only ask for your truth. The truth that you are tired, but you do not want to fall. That you were once lost, but now you long to be found. That you have been silent, but now your heart wants to cry out something. I miss you. I need you. I want to come home, my beloved child. The urgency in my voice today is not because I am impatient with you, not because I am angry or disappointed by your delays, your hesitations, or the days you've drawn back in fear. On the contrary, I am more patient than anyone who has ever walked into your life. But the reason my voice rises with urgency today is because I see what you do not see. I see the snares lying ahead, disguised in seemingly harmless decisions. I see paths that look safe, but quietly lead you away from what truly matters. I see the alluring invitations of the world, sweet, enticing, comfortable, yet lined with hidden hooks of disillusionment, weariness, and wandering. You cannot see it all, and you do not need to, because I have seen it for you. And because I love you, I cannot remain silent. I see the enemy, cunning and crafty, weaving lies around your identity. He doesn't need to attack with force, just enough to blur your vision of the truth. He makes you believe you are only the sum of your failures, that the dream within you is naive, that you have nothing left to offer. He lures you to settle for far less than what I've destined for you. He tricks you into merely existing when you were created to live, to flourish, to transform the space you inhabit. But I know you. I know the purest part of you, the part that still calls my name, the part that remembers the original melody I sang when I formed your soul. I know that flame is still there, though the winds of life have bent it. And because I know this, I will not stand by while you, my deeply loved one, are being deceived. I am not a distant father watching from afar. I am the one who steps into battle on your behalf. I am the one who speaks when your identity is being distorted. I am the one who charges ahead of the enemy's arrows. The one who keeps whispering in your ear even when all other voices scream, "You are mine. You are not forgotten. You were made for more than what you've settled for." That is why I speak today, not to frighten, but to awaken, not to make you run, but to make you remember, not to push you away, but to draw you back, with eyes wide open, with a heart full of gratitude, and a new belief that you can begin again, because your Father has never given up on you. My dear one, it is time for you to disconnect, not from the world itself, but from the things that are dulling your spiritual sensitivity. I see you surrounded by noise, not only the voices outside, but also the whispers in your mind, the endless streams of information, the images that unsettle your heart, and the false promises the world pours into your ears. These things are distracting you from me. They are not necessarily evil. but they have become clever barriers keeping you from entering deeper into the sacred quiet, into the space where you can truly hear me. Busyness does not fill you. It is only covering the emptiness you have not yet faced. And it is those quick comforts, a scroll through your phone, a meaningless chat, a seemingly harmless habit, that are dulling your spiritual ears, making my voice unfamiliar among 1,000 others. I need you to come to me, not for a few brief minutes at the end of the day, not only when you are desperate. I need you fully, with your whole heart, your whole soul, holding nothing back. I am calling you to a deeper place where nothing needs to be hidden, where every layer of pretense is stripped away. I don't need the perfect version of you. I need the real you, tired, honest, and willing. Because when you come close, I will show you things that will astonish you. Not new things from the outside, but treasures I placed within you long ago that you no longer see. I will remind you why you are here on this earth. Not to live like everyone else. Not to just get through the day, but to reflect my glory in a way that no one else can. I will give you new eyes, not to see the world the same, but to see with the light of truth. You will begin to notice what once seemed insignificant. The gifts I placed in your hands, the opportunities you thought were gone, the people you are sent to love and heal. All of it is still there, waiting for you to look again. And as you disconnect from what does not bring life, you will begin to reconnect with what truly belongs to you, what you can only find in my presence. Do not fear the silence. It is in that stillness that you will hear me more clearly than ever before. Come not hurried, not distracted, not guarded. My beloved child, there may have been many moments when you sat alone and quietly thought, I have nothing to offer. I possess no special talents, no powerful voice, no prominent role or influence like others. You look at your hands and see only emptiness. You look at your life and see the scars, the unfinished parts, the pieces you believe aren't enough. But my dear child, you do not see what I have already placed within you. You think you have nothing, but you don't know that I have been quietly equipping you from the very beginning. Not later, not when you're good enough, but from the moment I knit you together in your mother's womb. The things you consider too ordinary, too small, those are the very things I have anointed. The way you listen to someone with your whole heart, the way you feel another's pain without them having to say a word, the way you're still standing after everything that tried to break you. None of these are by accident. They are part of the divine tools I placed within you to do the extraordinary through the simplest of things. You don't realize that the things you once dismissed, a comforting smile, a quiet act of kindness, a moment of persistence when no one was watching, I will use those to change someone's life. Not every impact is loud. Often it is a faithful heart and open hands that allow me to do greater things than you can imagine. The world only pays attention to what sparkles, but I see every quiet act, and to me, those are what shake the earth. But you must trust me, not only when everything is going well, not only when you feel spiritual, not only when you understand everything. No, trust me in the uncertainty, in the weakness, in the fog. I don't need your full understanding in order for you to obey. I need your trust because I am trustworthy. Believe not because you know how it ends, but because you know who your Father is. And my child, there is no plan B. You are not a backup option. Your life is not a mistake I'm trying to patch together into something acceptable. No, you were never in error. I do not create anything unnecessary. No life enters this world outside of my loving intent. However you came into this world, however your life began, you are still an irreplaceable part of the story I'm writing. You are a vital chapter in my eternal manuscript. Unerasable, irreplaceable, unforgettable. I know there are times when you feel you've gone too far, far from your original purpose, so far that you no longer recognize who you are. You ask, is there a way back? And my answer is yes. Not only that, I will be the one who opens that way for you. There is no path beyond my redemption, no detour I cannot transform into a new beginning. I am the one who turns deserts into springs, failure into foundations, sorrow into testimony. The road you are on, no matter how winding, how lost, can still be rebuilt, repurposed, renewed. But there is one thing I need from you: complete surrender. I will not force you, but I invite you to lay down every burden, every grasp for control, everything you still cling to out of fear of losing. I do not need you to come to me in perfection. I only ask that you come with a willing heart. A heart that says, I don't understand everything, but I trust. I'm not sure I'm worthy, but I believe you love me. I have nothing in my hands, but I give you all I have. That surrender does not mean the loss of yourself. On the contrary, it is the moment you begin to rediscover the truest version of who I created you to be. When you let go of the masks, the assumptions, the images of who you think you must become, that's when you open your heart to my restoration from the inside out. And I will do it not through pressure, but through love, not through force, but through sacred gentleness. Because I don't just want you to change. I want you to come home. Home to what you were created to be. Home to the melody I first sang over you. Home to the simple faith you once had before the world taught you to doubt. Home to eyes of gratitude, to a heart that is pure, to dreams of living for something greater than yourself. I know this journey is not easy. There will be moments you doubt yourself, moments you feel like you're starting all over again. But no step toward me is ever wasted. Even a slow step, even a faint whisper. I see it, I hear it, and I wait. Not at the end of the road, but on every step along the way. Look back at your life. So many moments you thought were random, but were in fact divine arrangements. So many times you believed you were losing something, but I was clearing space for something new. So many things you thought were endings, but they became beginnings. These are not coincidences. They are my fingerprints, quietly weaving good from every shard you carry. You don't need to wait until you feel ready to answer me. I've been ready for a long time. I am still calling you. Every day, every night, every moment, your heart quietly wonders, could you still love me? And my answer always is yes. Not just love, but love deeply, unconditionally, so fiercely that I cannot stay silent when you go astray. And if today you're still hesitating, still holding on to a thread of doubt, I am not angry. I only ask that you do not delay any longer, because every moment you spend not living in your purpose is a moment you're losing yourself. You are not created to merely survive. You were created to live fully, to love, to create, to heal, to bring light where darkness reigns. And none of that is far away. It begins the moment you say, I'm ready. Because in that moment, I will come, not as the distant stranger, but as the father who has been waiting on the porch, with eyes that shine, arms wide open, and a heart that never stopped beating for you. My beloved child, I need your yes, but not a reluctant yes. Not a yes born out of fear that I'll abandon you, or that I'll grow angry if you turn away. No, the yes I long for is one born of love, from a heart that knows I am the one who loves you more than anyone, who knows you better than you know yourself, who reaches not to control you, but to lead you into real life. I do not want your obedience as a bowed-down slave. I invite your obedience as a child who knows their father is good. I do not desire your actions without your heart, because what I truly want is your heart, not a polished copy of someone else's heart, groomed by performance and outward perfection. No, I want the real heart, the one you're trying to hide, thinking it's too messy, too inconsistent, too full of doubt. That very heart, weary from pretending to be strong, scarred from believing and being let down, longing for something deeper than what you're living. That is what I desire. Bring me that tangled heart. I am not afraid of your confusion. I am not overwhelmed by your contradictions. I do not despise your weakness, for it is there. My love works miracles. You don't have to clean yourself up before entering my presence. I will be the one to wash, restore, and set things right. Maybe you don't know where to begin. Maybe there is a deep ache inside you, a longing to live fully, to touch something truly meaningful. But you are lost among too many directions. You stand before life as if at a foggy crossroads, unsure of the way, unsure if anyone truly sees you. But I see, I understand, and that is exactly where I want to begin. I am not looking for perfection. I am looking for truth. And nothing is more true than a heart that dares to say, I don't know, but I still want to believe. I still want to follow the call. I still want to obey, not because I must, but because I love you. And I trust that you know what is best for me. That is what I long to hear from you. A yes, not given out of obligation, but out of trust. A yes born from a love that is still growing within weakness. A yes that may tremble, yet remain sincere. And to me, sincerity is always enough. Believe this, my beloved. Even a small yes, when it comes from the truest place within you, is enough to open up a new journey. A journey that not only leads you closer to me, but also brings you back to yourself, to the true identity you once lost, to the purpose you once let slip away, to the parts of your life that seemed long forgotten. Today, I have not come to demand. I have come to invite, not to impose, but to offer you a sacred privilege, to walk with me into the wonder I have already prepared. And the only thing I need to begin is a wholehearted yes from your true heart. My beloved, once you speak that yes, even if it feels small and feeble, you will begin to sense something stirring within. Not because all your problems vanish, but because a door opens in your soul. A door that leads to real life, to unshakable peace, to a purpose far greater than anything you've dared to dream. When you say yes, you are giving me permission to touch the places you've hidden, the wounds you've kept silent, the hopes you thought were dead. And I, with a love that knows no limits, will enter like light, quietly chasing away the night, like warm water soaking into the dry, hardened soil that has long been surviving instead of living. Do not fear if this journey calls you to let go of certain things. Everything I ask you to release is something that has been hindering you from living fully. I do not take from you to leave you lacking. On the contrary, I make room to give you more safety, more freedom, more meaning. When you say yes, you are choosing truth over illusion, light over shadow, love over fear. And when you choose me, everything within you begins to find its rightful place. What was once tangled becomes clearer. What once felt uncertain begins to shine, and you will realize this was never just a yes. It was a beginning. For in the end, what I desire is not a perfect life, but a devoted heart. I don't need you to do great things to be loved by me. I loved you long before you ever did anything for me. But once you allow that love to lead your life, everything you touch will carry the fragrance of heaven, not by your strength, but by my presence within you. And the miracle is this: through a true yes, not only your life will be transformed, but so will the lives of those I will reach through you. Because you were not just made to be loved, but to carry that love to the world. And it all begins with one yes, my precious child. Give me your heart. Not the one you've edited, not the one wearing a mask of false peace, but your true heart, with all its confusion, unanswered questions, and unspoken fears. Give me the heart that's tired of pretending to be strong. Give me the fears you hide behind your smile, the disappointments buried deep inside, and the questions you've never dared to voice. This is the beginning of a sacred exchange, a divine transaction of grace. When you dare to place your whole heart in my hands, I will give you what the world can neither offer nor take away. It is a peace that doesn't come from circumstances, but from presence. It is a clarity not born of logic, but of spiritual insight. You will no longer be led by fear or lack, by emotional waves or the noise around you. I will give you a stillness so deep that even in the storm, you will know you are being led. And from that place, I will begin to reveal strategy, not human strategy, but divine design tailor-made for you, for this season, and for the mission you carry. I've not called you to merely survive, to just get by, to do the bare minimum, to hold on to a sliver of hope. I have called you into fullness, a fullness not rooted in material abundance, but in the awareness that you are living in the right place at the right time for the right purpose. That's when everything you do, even the smallest act, carries eternal weight. That's when you no longer have to ask, "Am I enough?" Because you will know that I am enough for you. And in me, you will find yourself, not as a broken piece, but as a restored masterpiece, equipped and sent. My beloved one, perhaps you are thinking right now, "It's too late. I've gone too far. I've made too many mistakes. I've missed too many chances to begin again." You look back at your life, the missteps, the wrong turns, the barren seasons of the soul, and you conclude, "There's no hope left for me." But child, that thought does not come from me. I am the God who is not limited by time. I do not see you through the ticking clock of this world. I do not measure you by someone else's pace or by the timeline you've imposed on yourself. You may believe it's too late, but I do not. Because my mercy is never late. It never runs dry. It never tires of your failures. In fact, in the very moment you feel furthest behind, I am closest to you. I am the God who lives and acts in the now. I do not keep a file of your wrongs to pull out every time you pray. I do not look at you through the lens of your past. I see you as you are, but I also see who you can become. And I have not come to scold you for your delay, but to bring you back today, while you still breathe, while you still carry a longing to live out the reason I created you. I restore what was lost, and I can do it in a moment. Not by rewinding the past, but by giving you a new future, a beginning unbound by your failures. When you place your hand in mine, I can revive in an instant what seemed buried for years. The dreams you shelved, the faith you dropped, the parts of you that once burned bright, then were dimmed by judgment, silence, or defeat. I can breathe new life into them, and they will rise again. I do not touch you merely to patch you up. I do not offer surface healing so you can go on hiding your wounds. I heal from the root. I go deep into the places you locked away. I see the pain you can't even name. I know why you built those walls around your heart. But I am not afraid of those places. Those very places are where I long to go, to bring true life to you. Not borrowed life, not a masked existence, but a new life. Real, free, and whole. You don't have to keep agreeing with the lies that have imprisoned you for so long. Those whispers that you're unworthy, not enough, just a burden. None of them are true. They are not my voice. And every time you believe them, you drift from the light you were made to live in. I see what no one sees, and I still choose you. I see your weakness. I see your hesitation. I see the times you've stepped back. But I also see the goodness in you, the light still glowing beneath layers of dust. I see the potential, the promise, the strength you have yet to recognize. And I do not choose you because you are perfect. I choose you because you are mine. Because among all the souls on this earth, I placed within yours a part of heaven's plan. One of a kind, irreplaceable. My child, it is time to stop. Stop walking with the voices that have stolen your courage. Stop rehearsing the verdicts spoken over you, whether by the world or by your own heart. You are not that lie. You are my handiwork. Not a rough draft, not an experiment, but a masterpiece. And I, the Creator, never make anything meaningless. Step out of delay. Don't let another second pass in the wastefulness of doubt and self-rejection. Every moment you are still breathing is a moment that can be used to rewrite the story, to bring glory to me through your very life. And I do not require you to do this alone. I will walk with you. I will lead you. I will carry you through the stretches you cannot traverse on your own. Don't wait until you feel strong enough. Don't wait for everything to be in order before you return. Come as you are. You are not too late. You are not too far. And my heart has all deep. My strength is not something you borrow only when you're empty. It is the very life coursing through your breath. When you are weak, I don't merely refill you. I become the strength within you. When you have no words to pray, I am the whisper within your soul. When you face the edge of your limits, I am the one who makes a way. My presence is not a reward, it is reality, if only you dare to believe. My child, there is still much ahead. Do not think your season has ended just because you feel dry in the present moment. Do not assume you've been disqualified from heaven's plan simply because you've stumbled along the way. You have not missed your moment. Time may pass. People may turn away. Circumstances may shift. But my calling over your life remains intact. There is no path that leads you beyond the reach of my hand. As long as you're willing to turn back, no mistake can change my mind about you. I do not merely see who you are today. I see the one I created, the one I know intimately, the one I have loved even when no one else stood by your side. I have already prepared all that is needed for your restoration, not just a surface healing, not just a little courage to keep going, but a complete journey to bring you back to your true self, to your sacred identity, your divine purpose, the glory I placed in your soul. But as with all great things, that restoration doesn't begin from the outside. It begins with revelation. You need to see again, not with eyes tired from what's been lost, but with eyes freshly cleansed by truth. You must see what I see. I do not see someone who is too late. I do not see a soul worn out by wrong choices. I see a warrior who has fallen asleep. I see a treasure covered in dust. I see a dream still beating within, waiting to be awakened and to live again, to be restored, to move forward. You must begin to believe again, not in your own strength, not in your experience or your plans, but in me, the one who formed you, who has walked with you through every season, and who is still waiting for you to believe that I alone can do the impossible. I do not need your excellence. I need your surrender. I am not looking for perfection. I'm looking for a heart that dares to believe that if I have called, I will also provide. That if I have begun, I will also complete. That if you take even one small step, I will do the rest with power, with mercy, with a good plan that far exceeds your understanding. My beloved child, I know that believing again is not easy. I know your heart has trusted before, only to be disappointed. You've opened up, only to close again in fear of being hurt once more. I do not blame you for that. I was there in every moment you shut your heart, in every time you told yourself, this will have to be enough. But deep within you, I still heard a sigh, faint, yet enough for me to know that you still hope, still remember, still long for something more. That longing, it is not something you imagined. I planted it there, not to torment you, but to remind you that you were made for something deeper, wider, higher. I have never forgotten that. It's just that you've been distracted by the noise of failure and the whisper of doubt. That is why I keep calling you back, not to remind you of your mistakes, but to remind you of the truth, that you are not disqualified. You have not been removed from heaven's plan. You are not defined by what you have lost, but by the love I have never withdrawn. You may have fallen, may have wandered, may have weakened, but I have never moved. And from where I remain, I am still calling you home, not to a rigid framework or a list of tasks, but to a living, breathing relationship where you are loved even before you do anything to earn it. I am not seeking the future version of you. I am not waiting for you to change before I come near. I want you just as you are right now, with everything you carry. And when you dare to step forward again, to open your heart again, to believe again, even if your faith is small and fragile, I will not let you be disappointed. Because what I am doing in you is not just mending a broken vessel. I am creating a new wellspring, flowing from the depths of your soul. I will open your eyes to see yourself as heaven sees you, strong yet tender, wounded yet chosen, limited yet anointed. I will widen your vision so you no longer fixate on what's behind, but begin to see what's ahead. And I will remind you, you still have a part in this story. Not a background role, but a central one. Not on the sidelines, but in the heart of what I am doing. And you will realize your restoration is not just for you. It is through you that I will restore others. You are a link in the chain of life, a bearer of influence, a vessel of the light I placed in you from the very beginning, and that light still remains. So my child, look again with new eyes. Do not look through fear. Do not look through memories of pain. Look through the light I am shining. Step forward with the faith that I still have good things for you, and that nothing lost is ever wasted in my hands. You are not too late. You are not too far gone. You have never been abandoned. And I, the one who lives in you, will continue writing this next chapter with you. Almighty God, I ask you to help me see myself through your eyes. For too long, I have looked at my failures and judged myself by the standards of fear, by the voices of people, by the criticisms that once broke me. But today I ask you, open my eyes that I may recognize I am not my mistakes. I am not the whisper of my past. Restore my vision, that I may see who I truly am in the light of your truth. Lord, I confess that I have doubted. I have been slow to believe. I have clung tightly to control time and time again. But today, I choose to surrender. I do not understand everything, but I trust that you know what is best for me. Help me to release all that I'm still holding, my plans, my worries, my regrets, so I can receive the gentle, wise guidance that comes from you. I place my time, my heart, and my future in your hands. Faithful God, I thank you for never leaving me. Even when I walked away from myself, you were there in the silence, in the tears, in the moments I thought I had no one. Your unconditional love has kept me, not to punish, but to restore. I know that I am still alive today because of your mercy, and I know you are patiently continuing to write the story of my life with your compassionate hand. My beloved, if this message awakens something in you, hope, tears, stillness, or the courage to believe again, know this: it was not a coincidence. It was a divine appointment. I led you here. I've been waiting for this moment with you. But this is not the end. It's only the beginning of our deeper journey together. I have more to say, more to heal, more to reveal, more to awaken within you. So return often. Let this place be your sanctuary. Subscribe not just to a channel, but to a rhythm of truth that keeps your soul anchored. Turn on the notifications so you won't miss a single whisper I speak through these messages. And when the weight returns, when your hope starts to flicker, come back here. Let these words realign your heart. Let them remind you who you are. Let them reignite what the world tried to extinguish. Share this with someone who needs to feel seen. Let them feel the love that's calling them home too. I am already preparing the next word for you. It will meet you in the exact place you'll need it most. Amen.